Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Spot Comic Show with another retro comic review. That's right, we're doing two this week. We may actually start doing two a week from here on out. Until either Transmet or 100. Well, at least until we finish Transmet, and then we'll be back to one. But now we're back. The other day we got back to Transmetropolitan, and so now we're moving back to 100 Bullets, Volume 7. Samurai. Now, Volume 7 of 100 Bullets features two stories. Try to see the listing of which. Nope. Okay. So, the first story brings us back to Lil Hughes, aka Loop. Now, as you may recall from Volume 3, or maybe not, because it's been a while since we covered Volume 3. Lil Hughes is the son of one of the Minutemen. Agent Graves gave him the briefcase. The briefcase had a picture of his father inside. However, instead of killing his father, he bonded with his father. But his father was then murdered. Hughes also had a brief run-in with Lano in that same story. However, Lil Hughes ended up being arrested for murder. Not because the gun was a little less untraceable than Graves' but rather because his fingerprints were on a broken bottle that were jammed in the throat of an enforcer. So, yeah, murder. So, like I said, Lil Hughes is in prison. And we start off, he's in solitary, in fact. He's actually being let out of solitary. Apparently, he got into a fight with one of the big names in the prison, a convict by the name of Nine Train. And so, returning from solitary, he reacquaints himself with all the other convicts there, including his cellmate, as well as the white supremacists that are just like, hey, we're all convicts. Turns out the convict he put in the infirmary probably getting out in a few days, so. But anyway, so Hughes readjusts life. One of the other convicts offers him a shiv. Apparently, one of the convicts, Casey, has been given instructions to hook Loop up. While they're discussing this, however, bus full of fresh fish arrives. And who happens to be... And Erie, the leader of the white supremacists, has already been told by one of the guards that there's one new convict that he does not want any of Erie's people dealing with. That convict is revealed to be none other than Lano, who, if you may recall from Volume 6, was framed for bank robbery and also killed a few cops on the way out. And so Lano would adjust fairly easily to to life on the inside, promptly violating and murdering his cellmate during over the course of a lockdown. Lana is constantly beat up after, I might add, after taking on Erie and his gang in the showers and winning. Yes, during the lockdown, however, everything is gotten rid of. All toilet wine, porno, shanks, anything that convicts aren't supposed to have. And like I said, during the lockdown, Lana is worked over to an insane degree by the guards. The next day in the infirmary, the head guard, Dritz, is explaining to the doctor that, Lana fell out of bed. A lot. Little Hughes' cellmate, however, has brought a message from one of Nine Train's people. The message being a chewed up apple core. And also that's what Nine Train's gonna do to Hughes when he gets out of the infirmary in 2 days. We also find out just what happened that led to Nine Train being put in the infirmary by Hughes. During, in the chow hall, Nine Train grabbed Hughes' apple from behind, and without looking to see who'd done it, Hughes smacked him in the throat with a tray. It was nothing personal, just, hey, don't take one. And it was kind of a case of when he realized what he did, like, oh, that's bad. So Hughes goes to see Casey and asks for the hookup. We get a line on the various types of shanks. There's the basic shiv, a classic from Sing Sing to San Quentin. Double-edged, conceals easy, nice all-around piece. There's a tracer, which is good for slicing and dicing. Leaves a nasty road map all over the victim. However, you really want to drive the point home. It's a Christmas tree. Goes in clean, when it's pulled out, pull a holiday dinner full of guts. Hughes is going with the classic shiv. In the infirmary, Lano is talking with Erie and his people, as well as Nine Train. However, it turns out that Lano has a visitor, Shepard, the man who basically gave him the stolen cash that got him busted. Of course, Lano is exceptionally pleased to see Shepard, exceptionally pleased. But turns out Lano is exactly where Shepard wants him. Explaining that Graves wants to make Little Hughes a Minuteman. Further goes into the fact that there is a war brewing between Graves and the Trust. And And it also gets brought up as to why Lana wasn't in Atlantic City. The reason being that Shepard needed him. So, well, it's Dirks, not Dritz. Back with Little Hughes, he talks to, he gets Dirks' attention. Tells Dirks he is strapping. So Dirks can either throw Lana in the hole for having a shank, or get Hughes transferred to the infirmary. He also does offer to take care of Lana while there too. So Dirks decides option 3. Send Lana to the infirmary by kicking him down the stairs, causing him to break his arm. Back with Lano and Shepard, he does tell Shepard that he's not interested in the war, but if it'll get him out of prison, he'll put on the black suit and tie. And Shepard also explains that they lost the Minuteman, Milo Garrett, the counterfeit detective, to be exact. And, well, Lano realizes that he's the one who killed Garrett, not realizing it was Garrett. But apparently Graves wants to fill Garrett's spot with Lil Hughes. Lano's first thought is to kill Hughes. You know, both Shepard and Graves want him. Well, why not take him away from both of them? However, Shepard explains that he feels that Hughes needs seasoning, and that Lano is just the person to do that seasoning. In the infirmary, Hughes gets his arm put in a cast. The doctor tells him, asks him how it happened, and of course, Hughes says he fell. And suggests that Hughes try to avoid using the cast as a weapon. As he's being let out of the infirmary, however, as he's being let out of the infirmary, the doctor notices that there are no guards present. And so things are about to start up. But Hughes does pull the shank and, takes care of 9 Train, with Erie and his boys helping out. Though the guards come in and start smacking everybody around. However, Lano also when he's being returned to the infirmary, also decides to get in on the brawl, leading to both Lano and Hughes being put in solitary. And to be fair, Hughes isn't too mad about the situation. He explains the situation through the wall to Lano, and Lano also says, jokes on Hughes, though. And that is the end of that portion of things. Next up, we reacquaint ourselves with, oh shit, what is his friggin' name? Jackie, that's right. We catch up with Jackie. Jackie is a heroin addict who was given the briefcase by Graves, and however, the picture in the briefcase is a picture of Jackie himself, basically saying, "Yeah, you fucked up your life yourself. Here's all the proof you need to show you exactly how it is you messed up, and how, when, where, so on and so forth." So, Jackie and his buddy Mikey are driving. They're a little intoxicated. A cop pulls them over. Mikey's driving. Jackie's pretty much taking the entirety of the back seat. And they explain that they're going to see Mikey's cousin, Garvey Metcalf, aka Jungle Garvey. Now, I'm going to say this now. I'm pretty sure that the pre-Tiger King exploits of Joe Exotic may have partially been the inspiration for the character of Jungle Garvey, and possibly also parts of his appearance. Turns out that the cop that pulled over Mikey and Jackie is something of an associate of Garvey's. They're pleased as hell to see, and of course, Garvey's happy to see his cousin. Brothers introduced. Turns out that Garvey's got some special going on, and well, giving the sheriff a heads up about it. Turns out Garvey runs a big cat. Well, basically, a little side of the road, look at the tigers in cages type of place. And so Jackie is enthralled with the tigers. And in a fit of being too damn high to really think straight, Jackie tosses the gun into the cage of the tiger and holds out his arm. Tiger takes a slash at him, and yeah. Also, it turns out that a few people have shown up there. And it turns out that the deal that Jungle Garvey has is, on occasion, people can, to circumvent certain import laws, people can come through and, kill them a tiger. They want an authentic tiger skin run. Fine, he can do it all. He can get that all up from. They want a tiger to mount on their mantle. He can do that too. And the meat gets sold off. So, yeah. Plus a hefty fee is charged. So yeah, it's messed up. It is insanely messed up. But it's it's well thought out. Just incredibly, ugh. And turns out that the way they actually do it is they use they trank the tigers, so they don't have to be that one shot's all it's going to take. Though it turns out the guys doing this didn't realize that's what actually happened. We also get a brief flashback to when Jackie was given the briefcase and the conversation he had with Graves afterwards. With Graves basically telling him the reason he gave him the briefcase is so that Jackie can actually get who's really at fault. But back in the present, Jackie goes for a bit of a walk. Here's the gunshots. Yeah, the guys at Trevor the Tigers, they weren't too keen on the idea of shooting a tranked up tiger. So yeah, now they done messed up. But then they get it right, and they trank another one of the tigers, and it turns out that there's a gun in the cage. Jackie claims it's his. So he didn't want the piece anymore. However, Jackie's come up with a reason to use the gun after all, and takes on the takes out Garvey's guest with it. And that takes care of that. However, Garvey tells his wife, run, get out of town, switch to your maiden name. And so they're getting ready to take care of the mafia guys and their car when the sheriff shows up. And so he gets added to the pile in exchange for their help with disposing of the bodies. Jackie and Mikey are given one of the tigers, and somewhere close to Atlantic City, Jackie's decided he's gonna clean up, and they let the tiger loose on the beach. Mikey, however, still not interested in getting cleaned up, but maybe he will one of these days. And so Mikey and Jackie part ways. Mikey telling Jackie that once he kicks the horse, he'll look Jackie up. But the look Mikey gives him Jackie gives him kind of says, "Yeah, well, I'm probably never going to see you again." And so Jackie heads towards Atlantic City. And that is where the story ends. And that's it for now. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off, saying live long and rock hard.